During loading/unloading on a container truck, a large and heavy load is seen not being properly secured on the trailer. Workers are standing right next to the load and very close to the fall zone. Shortly afterward, the load loses its balance and tips off the truck bed. The incident unfolds within seconds, and the falling weight creates a deadly danger for the personnel below. This incident shows how critical safe positioning and proper securing are when working with heavy loads. No one should be present in the drop zone of unsecured loads. Loading and unloading operations must be carried out with appropriate equipment and inspections. At the point where the worker is standing on the platform, there are no guardrails or edge protections. Additionally, the worker is wearing slippers, which further increases the risk of slipping and losing balance. Work carried out under these conditions can result in a severe fall, even with a small mistake. All work at height must be supported with proper guardrails, fall protection systems, and safe working platforms. Workers must wear slip-resistant, job-appropriate footwear. Working on temporary and unsafe surfaces invites accidents. A person places several long steel rods vertically into a passenger elevator and starts the cabin. As the elevator moves upward, the rods extend into the overhead space and press against the shaft ceiling. Shortly afterward, the cabin shakes, stops abruptly, and the rods jam the door area, completely blocking the elevator's movement. The man tries to remove the rods by himself, but they remain stuck, and the situation becomes increasingly dangerous. This incident shows that transporting long and oversized materials in passenger elevators is risky. Service/freight elevators or appropriate lifting equipment should be used for such loads. Dimensions must be checked in advance, and loads must be secured properly. In case of jamming, authorities should be notified instead of forcing the material. A technician notices an extended lift arm at the last moment while walking past a vehicle lift. Distraction combined with a narrow space leaves only a small margin before contact occurs. A simple moment of inattention creates a serious accident risk. Lift arms must be fully retracted when not in use. Areas with tripping or striking hazards should be marked, and workers must stay alert while walking. Small precautions prevent major accidents. In a narrow area with limited visibility, a backhoe loader attempts to reverse. Due to rear and side blind spots, the operator does not notice an approaching bus. As the maneuver continues, the two vehicles collide forcefully from the side. The impact causes the backhoe loader to lose balance and overturn. Reversing heavy equipment in confined areas must always be done with a spotter. Relying only on mirrors is not sufficient. The spotter must provide clear guidance, and maneuvering must not begin until the area is safe. Controlling blind spots prevents accidents. A reach truck operator drives with the forks raised and hits a bump on the floor. At that moment, the vehicle loses balance and begins to tip over. The operator instinctively pulls back inside the cab. Although the forklift tips toward the operator's side, he avoids serious injury because he remains inside the cab. When using forklifts and reach trucks, forks should be kept at a low height. Travel slowly on uneven surfaces and avoid sudden maneuvers. Operators must stay inside the cab and wear a seatbelt. Proper driving habits improve safety. Two workers attempt to unload a large and heavy load from the bed of a pickup truck. They plan to slowly slide the load toward the edge and lower it to the ground. At first, the operation seems controlled, but as the load moves, its center of gravity shifts. Balance is lost, and the load unexpectedly tips forward and drops hard to the ground. Heavy and bulky loads must not be lowered by hand. The operation should be planned in advance, and appropriate lifting equipment must be used. Uncontrolled sliding methods should be avoided. Safe handling is achieved by keeping the load stable and under control. In a loading-unloading area, a worker steps backward while moving on a platform. Because he does not fully check where he is stepping, he loses balance and dangerously approaches the platform edge. A seemingly simple movement quickly turns into a serious hazard. Platform edges must be considered carefully during loading and unloading. Platforms should have clearly visible edge protection, and the walking surface must be checked before stepping. Even low heights can cause serious injuries. A worker tries to perform a tack weld by placing his head between bridge guardrails. To get closer to the weld point, he squeezes his body into a narrow gap. After finishing, he attempts to pull his head back, but realizes it is stuck due to the tight spacing between the rails. A brief panic occurs, and the worker has difficulty freeing himself. Welding operations must not be performed in narrow spaces where there is a risk of entrapment. Work should be carried out on a solid and spacious platform. A welding mask, gloves, and appropriate PPE must be used, and the worker must be able to withdraw safely at any time. Two workers standing in front of a press machine move close to the danger zone to align material. At that moment, the machine unexpectedly activates, and the press ram moves downward within seconds. The workers narrowly avoid a serious injury. Energy control is critical on press machines. Lockout, tagout must be applied before intervention. Two-hand controls should be used, and guards must be in place. A press must never be operated while a person is inside the machine.